Welcome to the Great Awakening Show. I am Joanne, Divine Life Yogini, and on this week's show we have Charlie Freak, who is a wealth of wisdom, truth, and divine knowledge that he shares on his Freak Sense TV podcast to thousands of people. Charlie decodes the Bible, which is not a history book. It is a magical, alchemical, and allegorical treatise on human physiology and divinity, and teaches us how we can all reclaim our destinies and raise ourselves into Christ consciousness. Welcome to the Great Awakening Show.
Yeah. Pleasure to be here. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you.
So lovely, so lovely. Charlie, let's get straight into it. I want to know, what does this great awakening mean for us all?
Well, it's a complete overhaul, a 180-degree turn away from what we've been taught to do powerfully, because everyone's been in on it, including parents, whether they meant to or not. Everyone's been in on a process that has taken us away from a timeless existence where we exist to flow like a river through the mother below and the father above, and just intuitively learn what can be learned, which is virtually everything. And so we were talking pre-show, and I mentioned briefly that I think one of the reasons why this incredible transition is taking a fair amount of time in the eyes of some. I think the time frame is makes a lot of sense, but I think one of the reasons that it's taking some time is that we need people for an extended period of time away from this 9-to-5 job, from this sense of self that you are a corporation, that you are a busyness, and you're not. You are a soul having a physical experience, and so you need to nurture the soul, which in turn will nurture the physical body. It doesn't work the other way around. So when we live the material plane, the material existence, and going to work, earning a wage, following somebody else's rules, getting a driver's license, driving to and from work every single day, you're missing everything on both planes, the material plane of the mother and the metaphysical plane of the father. You're missing it all. And that's not why we're here. We are here absolutely to embrace the mother. And you just look at the natural process of a child being born. A great amount of time in the beginning is spent with the mother, and over time, more time is spent with the father. And that's precisely how this works with our Mother Earth and our Father in heaven. And it's when we fell into singularity from God in heaven to the duality of this materialistic plane, the first thing God created is the mother. So everything about Mother and Mother Earth is the truth. Yeah. The mother is the light, is the way, as Jesus Christ talked about so much in the New Testament of the Bible, and many books that were kept out of the Bible. So that's what this is about. This is about a complete overhaul of how we see ourselves, what our viewpoint is for a society, a grouping of people, and what our purpose to life is. Our purpose is to discover ourselves, and once we discover ourselves, then we're ready to go on this journey to discover our one true mother and our one true father. And then this is the Holy Trinity, and that's everything. Mother, Father, you.
Holy Child.
In the
Mother,
middle.
Father, Holy Child, isn't it? The spiritual child, the reborn, the rebirth of the spiritual child. And finding that is finding the divinity, isn't it, within us? Because that is the mother and the father are the divinity within. It's so beautiful. And this is all about a relearning, isn't it? Everything we've learned is just lies, all of it. It's just a total relearning of everything. You know, my daughter, she comes to me today, she goes, Mom, is the moon landing real? And I went, no, honey, it's not. And she went, but they've taught us all about that in school. And I'm going, don't, you know, we know, I don't believe in school. It's like, you know, it's just everything that we've learned. And but I think this time is it's the most greatest time to be on earth, is it not?
It is. Colleen and I operate from the belief that everything was created in the first 6 days. So, however long a day is to God, the Bible says 1,000 years. So let's say it took God 6,000 years to create, or one moment, of course, just to create the complexity of this creation, of His creation. And everything is day 7. So we've never moved from day 7. So this is the moment. This is the now.
Yeah.
That Zen moment that people talk about, and this is why yoga is such a key, very, very, very important aspect to our existence. Because when as you were saying beautifully, that everything is a lie, and that's what we've taught from the beginning when we started 3 years ago. Everything is a lie. And when you go back to the ancient cultures, what you find is that they all revered the practice of yoga, and in particular the heart and soul of yoga, which is diaphragmatic breathing, or breath yoga. And this is that balance between two worlds. So it's the shapes, it's the forms, the strength of the pose, but all of that is created through this internal work, which is the diaphragmatic breathing from the diaphragm, which is breathing in the ether, which is God, and then expelling out that which we don't need, and then that allows us to balance these poses in two worlds. Two worlds is one, and that's the key to yoga.
Union.
Because it is unity consciousness. Exactly, it is union. It leads to unity consciousness, and that comes through meditation. So in all ancient cultures, how they viewed yoga was a sacred practice for preparation to the fiery key, because what unlocks the moksha, what unlocks the door to the right in Solomon's temple, what unlocks the pineal gland, is that stillness and silence, which is meditation. But to achieve that, it is through this practice of the breath yoga, and that's harnessing two worlds as one. That again is father, mother. So as you said, we become the divinity, the divine child, the hallowed grounds, which are already made. It's all right here.
It's
This
all
is the
here,
third ventricle of our
holy
brain.
grail. Yeah, the holy grail, the holy trinity. But also it's the purification of the body as well.
Oh yeah. It truly is, and that's of course what breath does, and that's why diaphragmatic breathing from the diaphragm is so important. And again, when you practice this, when you begin to do this, what you'll see is that the very first movement in our breath is actually of the diaphragm. So you'll see your stomach move first, the chest second, and then when we learn to do the Buddha belly, this is why the fat Buddha is the Buddha belly, which is from diaphragmatic breathing. That's how we breathe. You let your stomach out and your chest remain as still as possible. And then what this is doing is it's creating essentially a funnel within you, and it's taking all of this nourishment of God out of the ether deep within you, and anything that does not serve you is expelled out. So it's in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then when you practice this with these sacred movements of the yogic tradition, then you're creating what's called unity consciousness, and that's hallowed ground.
Because so many people, they breathe from up here. Short breath, short life. Short breath, short life. You know, we have to breathe. The breath is life. But once you start breathing, and it calms, all breathing properly calms all the systems down in the body. And it really gets us ready for that meditation, doesn't it? You know, it's so beautiful. Tell us a little bit about meditation, and how we can, because, finding, I always connect with that beautiful divine love light energy that fills me up every day. And for me, that is God, goddess within. And nothing else can give me that in the 3D. Yeah. It's just, you have to go within to get that. So powerful.
Yeah, beautifully stated as well. And so, what meditation is everything, because it's the gateway to the other world, to the other realm, which traditionally we know as the blue shift, or the right hand path, or the heaven versus the hell. This is ascension. Meditation is the gateway to ascension, because what meditation does is it activates your pineal gland. And believe me, one of the things that I do is I decode an enormous amount of things, especially rock and roll music, which, by the way, is roll the rock. They spun it one way, but when you decode the lyrics to virtually 90% of these beautiful bands, they were all speaking about God's creation, and this a meditative process of going within, that the kingdom of heaven is within you. And so really, rock and roll is roll the rock, and roll the rock is again moving the fornix, which is in the third ventricle of your brain. And the fornix is like the stone. It is, because the story of Jesus Christ is within you, and it is without you. And so the story of raising prism oil, the Christic energy, or what people call Christ consciousness within you, it must raise up to the third ventricle. And in the hypothalamus, it rests for 2.5 days upon the slab, which is your hypothalamus, and then it transmutates to the pineal gland, activates the pineal gland, and then an electronic signal is sent to this little fold, and it connects to the roof of your third ventricle. And when we activate our pineal gland, it rolls the rock. That's rock and roll. And music, of course, is frequencies, and we are is energy coalesced. So in the right frequency, the rock is rolled, and then that reveals the final chamber of the third ventricle, which is the chamber of the bridegroom. And that's this alchemical marriage between the fatherly energy, God consciousness, with the mother, which is the kundalini rising, and then the father-mother, gold and silver, honey, milk and honey, and they are married alchemically within this chamber of the bridegroom. And of course, the Christ energy within us, Christ consciousness, or what people refer to as Jesus Christ, is then Jehovah's Witness, because you have to have a best man present to be the witness between the marriage.
Isn't it? Because it is the allegoric, in an allegorical way, it is the physiological journey of Jesus within our body for us to become. There is no second coming. He's not going to come as a physical body again. It's us becoming that Jesus Christ, us becoming that Christ consciousness within. That's the whole reason. And that is us having enlightenment, us being self-realized. That's the whole reason for life on earth, isn't it? For us to have that. Can I ask you one thing about raising the chrism oil? So it's as it comes in about, the 2.5 days of the moon in our sign. The Kundalini, when it comes down, the milk and the honey comes down, it fertilizes that seed, doesn't it, in the sacrum, fertilizes it. And is it the Kundalini and the Christos oil that is pulled up? The Kundalini is the Christos oil, but vibrated into even more powerful. Is that right?
That's very, very accurate. So this journey, which starts at the age of 12 within each one of us, and occurs 13 times a year. That's every month, which is a month. Just like Monday is moon day. In Latin, Monday is lunis, which is moon. So they just never thought you'd figure this out, that if you take one of those away, that Monday moon day, and that a month is a month. So really quickly, the sun is a gauge, that's all. There's no such thing as linear time, but the sun is a gauge for a solar day, and a solar year. But the moon, the mother, is a gauge for the week because she has 4 phases, and for the week, and for a month. And so the feminine menstrual cycle has 13 passes within one. So again, the month is regulating the weeks and the months, and it's a month. So there are 13 feminine menstrual cycles, and as such, there are 13 moon cycles.
There are.
So there should be 13
in the real calendar
months
yeah.
in a year. There, in the real calendar, there absolutely is. And so everything about our system is designed to set you at odds with your internal mechanism and with the mechanism above you. So everything works on the principle of as above, so below, as within, so without, as with the universe, so with the soul. That's how everything works. Everything is a microcosm to the macrocosm, and the macrocosm tells us about the microcosm and back and forth. So that's exactly how it works. So when we are out of alignment with what naturally occurs, created by God through the mother, and then we are out of alignment with our essence, with ourselves. When the moon enters into your sun sign, which occurs 13 times a year, then these are the 3 days and 3 nights, the 72 hours, the miracle of the transmutation, if you're ready, if you take this seriously. And so what happens is that in the beginning, in the solar plexus, which is here, which is the third of 7 chakras within you, energy, the wheels of light within you, and in that is a psychophysical seed that is created, and then it drops straight down into the sexual chakra, or the sacrum, or the sacral plexus chakra, which is the sexual chakra. And in your sacrum, where the 5 vertebrae are fused together, there is a little indentation in the middle of it, about where the third of the 5 vertebrae is, and there's an indentation, and that's the manger. And this is where baby Jesus is born, in a manger, because you have a little depression in your sacrum, and this is where the psychophysical seed rests. And then the milk and the honey. The milk is from the pituitary gland, the honey is from the pineal gland, and they wind their way down the Ida and the Pingala. Pingala pineal, Ida pituitary. And the milk and the honey, which is Joseph and Mary, wind their way down to the sacred place, the sexual place where fertilization occurs, and then the psychophysical seed is fertilized with the milk and the honey, and it becomes the baby Jesus, literally, both allegorically and literally within you. And then this incredible man, this incredible child, this incredible energy begins its 33-year journey, which is up your spine, because the chrism oil goes inside. It's an inner process. It goes inside the spine. And that's why Jesus lived for 33 years, because he had to go through 33 vertebrae of the spine to get to Atlas. Atlas, who holds the weight of the world upon his shoulders, because that is that last bone, which is considered a capstone, which is why the pyramids have a capstone as well. And at this Atlas, you can't get through. The only thing that emerges through Atlas is the brainstem, which is a whole nother world. This is the physical world, the physical world. This is the material plane. This is some would consider hell upon earth, and this is heaven. And the only way that your internal processes, such as the blood, so the blood-brain barrier, and your nerves, everything else, they have to go up and to the right, up and to the right. Everything has to go up and to the right through the hypoglossal opening back into your brainstem. And this process of going up and to the right is called crossing the fiction. And this is crucifixion, because in Latin, that's right, because in Latin, cross is crucifixion, crossing the fiction, the lies of the physical world, the physical plane, into the truth of God in heaven, where you wear your halo. around you and above you. And this is that crucifixion, Jesus at Golgotha. And again, what does Golgotha or Calvary literally mean? They both mean skull or place of the skull. And so this is this crossifixion. And then the chrism oil crosses over and comes back into the brainstem, up into the fourth ventricle, which is a straight and narrow way. It's tiny and it's straight and it's narrow. It's the only way into the third ventricle of your brain, that centermost, innermost part of you. And then the chrism oil returns and is laid to rest in the hypothalamus, which is just below, and it's just basically that chamber, that tomb, and there it rests for 2.5 days. And then if you are practicing yoga, and if you are doing, if you are pure of thought, if you're pure of your life, serving mankind, serving all others, Jesus Christ was alkaline. He was perfectly alkaline. We are frugivores, which we get into after if you like, but we are 100% inside and outside. We're frugivores. Yeah. So when alkaline, that's Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was the alkaline man. And then if your alkalinity is purity. And so if you are pure, then this chrism oil will raise. Now, I have done this process many times, and what occurs is this illumination of the pineal gland. Then that is that magic of the signal which rolls the fornix back. That is the stone in front of the tomb. The fornix rolls back. And then this is the alchemical marriage between your fatherly, heavenly, or motherly, feminine energy, the milk and the honey, unifying, marrying, father, mother, marrying. And then the service is witnessed by Jehovah's Witness. Jehovah's Witness is Jesus Christ. And he is the best man. And he is the best man because he is the one that did this journey. Buddha is the one that did this journey. Yeah. Krishna is the one that did this journey. Zarathustra is the one that did this journey. And any one of you can do this journey. The purpose of the New Testament of the Bible, which is about one person. The Old Testament is about a whole bunch of different people, and it's all over the place. But then there's one beautiful singular message in the New Testament. You need to read it for yourself because it is how to live your life like Christ. Christ-like is what the Bible should say, and it's what it's about, is to become Christ-like. And Christ was the truth. Jesus Christ was the truth. When you live in the light of the truth, that is the Father and the Mother, then you will raise this chrism oil and you will illuminate. And when you do this, this is, and people say to Colleen and I all the time, how do you know the things that you know? Like, I mean, how do you know all of these things? It's because we've done the work, we created the crown. This is the proper crown. And then this is the purple rain of the purple crown, of the purple bliss, of the lotus petal in full flowering of the 7th chakra.
Yeah. And that's how, when you got to that place, then all inspiration, ideas, and knowledge and wisdom came to you, in that moment. It's all about raising that chrism oil and the kundalini. Kundalini is the chrism oil. It's our soul potential, isn't it? It's our Christ consciousness within, raising it up. That is so beautiful. And it's the whole reason for us to be here on earth. And they have been dumbing us down for millennia to stop us realizing that we are a child of God, that we are divine. It's I say this a lot, this is what I say. I say, in the spiritual realm, it's already been won. This light versus dark, this good versus evil war has already been won. It just takes time to manifest down, which is causing all the shocking events to wake up the masses of people to the lies. Tali, tell us about a few of the most important things that will come in that are going to awaken people massively at this time.
You just said it so beautifully, and thank you for all of that. That was beautiful, and it's so true. The first thing has to come the revelations. They have to, and it's going to be shocking. It's going to be horrific when we see the fullness of what we have allowed exist underneath the ground. This is the big, you talked about earlier, your daughter talking about the moon landings, and people will say, why would they fake that? Why did they fake space? If the earth is level, people call it flat, but it's level because level is the truth. The earth is level, protected by the dome, which is a firmament, and the stars are openings within the firmament. On the other side is just God, which is that white, pure white, virtuous photonic light. God is photon. And that is that pure light. And the reason why the openings are so small and the stars are so small is because that light in our present state with so much darkness inside of us, which is normal because they teach us to be shameful and teach us to hold on to painful thoughts. We have a huge pain body. Your pain body is darkness. Yes. So if we saw, that's why the sun goes across the sky. We don't move. We've never moved. The sun moves, of course. That's what you see and experience. That's why the sun is the size that it is, which isn't that big and it's not that far away. But that's why it moves as quickly as it does, because too much of God's light in our present state will be harmful for us because there's too much darkness inside of us. Yeah. And the star openings are so small, same, because it's just allowing a little bit of God's pure light, which in our present dark forms would literally blast craters, blast holes on the moon, because we have so much darkness. So what does this look? What do we have to do? We have to reveal all the lies. And when we see all of the lies, then we will have no alternative but to rally around the truth. And the truth comes from whoever created all of this. So whatever you want to call is entirely, to me, that is God, the creator. Yeah. And so when you embrace God, you embrace the truth. And so if you want to, people say, well, how do I learn the truth? Where would I learn the truth? Mother Nature. It's the single biggest thing moving forward. What's the single biggest transformation that has to occur? Get kids out of schools. Get kids out of indoors. Put nature. Our back onto the land. It doesn't matter if it's raining. You are clever. You'll figure out a way to be able to have an umbrella or boots or to walk in the raindrops when you use this. But that's the biggest thing, because everything with Mother Nature is the truth. So she teaches you why is there wind? Why are there ocean currents? Everything that occurs within Mother is trying to create balance again. Everything is trying to create unity between two worlds. So that's why we have movement upon the earth, even with the sun and the moon, is because they are attempting to follow and eventually one day connect, because they're in love. The sun and the moon are in love. So everything is about love. Everything is about the truth, and the truth is in the Mother. So Mother Earth, and those are the biggest things moving forward. Break the lies, and it's going to hurt because we've all party to this, and then embracing the truth through the Father and living through the Mother, and then you are going to see a transmutation like never before. This will be, it may take time, but this will become heaven upon earth. Heaven. It is this earth. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we create our own hell or our own heaven, individually and collectively, and this is that time of balance within oneself. And the darkness within is the ego, is as you would say, the darkness within is that the devil or evil, or them negative awful thoughts, isn't it? But that's what we're all trying to get to. The more that comes out, I believe, the more that comes out, the more people are going to run to divine. They're going to run to God, because it's like, oh my, that's what this whole awakening is for us to know. First of all, we run to God outside of ourselves. Please help me, God. Please help me, God. When all of these shocking things are happening, and then we have this awakening, and it's like, wow, no, but God isn't outside of me. God is me, and I am it. And it's the divine flame within, isn't it? That's how I see it. It's a whole running towards the divine. This whole awakening is so beautiful.
beautifully stated, perfectly stated it is. Again, I did a podcast that everyone should see. Of course, so that everybody knows, I'm deplatformed off of everything within social media. They will not allow us anywhere. So I have a Rumble channel now, and where you can watch our videos, and I have a MeWe, a page on MeWe where I put daily posts and whatnot. So MeWe and Rumble. But on Rumble you can find the video that I did, and it's the takedown of organized religion from A to Z. And what I did is I took 26 beautiful passages from Jesus Christ in the New Testament, and it just builds, states, and wins my case for what God is, where God is, and what we're supposed to do. And that is, the kingdom of heaven is within you. And that's everything. Jesus Christ never said anything other than Christ is within you. And never look at a church. Never listen to one of the Pharisees, the scribes, or the lawyers of the church. They are the demons. That's what he called them. They are the demons. And surely one stone of their temples will be left. And remember, for everyone to know, what got Jesus Christ killed in the ancient city of Jerusalem, what got Jesus Christ killed is when he said that I will tear down your temple in a day, and within 3 days I will build a real temple on my own in silence. And so he was called before the elders of the church in Jerusalem. So these again are the Zionist Jews, the fake Jews, and he was called before them to explain this process. And they said, "Did you say these things?" And he said, "Absolutely, and I can guarantee you, I will do these things." And so it was that, and they sentenced him to death, to die upon a cross. And that's it. So this process is tearing down these absolutely complete opposite of the word of God, of the word of Christ. Tear down these monumental temples to sin and debauchery, and to raise up what's already built for you. Because Solomon's temple in the Bible, like First Kings, go through all of First Kings, and it gives you the detail of Solomon's temple, which is you and your temple. So Solomon's temple are your temples. That's why the number 11 is the master number. 11, 22, and 33. 11, Father. 22 is the Mother. We're entering into next year 2022. In Gematria, we don't count the zero, so that's 2, 2, 2. That's Sacred Mother. And this is the year of truth. It'll all be revealed in 2022. 221, which is where we are right now. 2 + 2 + 1 is 5, which is crucifixion. This is the crossing from the physical to the metaphysical. This is crucifixion. And we're going through hell this year. That's right, dealing with all of this that we've been complicit with. And but the greatness is coming when we cross over the fiction through the Mother rising, Kundalini, through the Mother rising to the Father in heaven. And that's 222, March 22nd. And then 33 vertebrae, Jesus Christ rising, is the child, is the haloed child, is 33. 11, 22, 33 are the three master numbers, and 11 is the master number because that's your temples. And then in between the temples is God consciousness, which is symbolized by the number 9, which is divine. So all vines rise up towards heaven, and in the morning they all face east to the rising sun every morning because they're divine. They want divinity just as we want divinity. So we are the vine that must climb the spine. And think about the spine. Spine is pine, which is the pine tree, which is the perfect balance between its unity consciousness, because the pine tree is above and below. And the evergreen needles protected in wax, and that they always point towards heaven, and it's always green with the root system, and it doesn't need a lot of heat, doesn't need a lot of water. It's perfection is the pine tree. And then you add an S in front of it, which is the Kundalini rising, which is a sine wave and that which is the mother rising, and that's the Kundalini. So spine, your spine, tells you that we're supposed to rise your spine, raise your spine
Ascend.
by
Ascend.
Kundalini,
Yeah.
ascend
Ascend.
through this sine wave, which is the Kundalini. So it tells you everything in plain sight. This language tells you in plain.
And it doesn't matter whatever you believe in, whatever you believe in, everyone on earth has the soul potential of the Kundalini and the power to raise it if you know how to do it and if you purify yourself, in mind, body, and soul, isn't it?
Teaching. That's what you're teaching with your Kundalini yoga. That's what yoga is doing. Yoga is helping to create the temple. The temple's already built, but it's cleaning it out. So it's just removing the cobwebs and allowing you to go there. And then that's the whole purpose of the Kundalini yoga is to have the receptacle for the mother to rise. This balances these two worlds. And so remember what I said, 9 is God consciousness. And so this is 9, 11. Hence, why they took down the Twin Towers, your two temples, the Twin Towers in New York on September 11, 2001. This 2001, 2 and 1 is 3, which is the Holy Trinity. And they took down the towers 11 to remove the 9, which is God. And that's what they've done.
Yeah.
You know this is true. Turn on Netflix and it's godless. They celebrate Lucifer. There's shows about everything about Lucifer and Satan.
Vampires, drama, killing, drama, death. It's always Satan, and it's horrible, absolutely horrible. And this is what this Great Awakening is about: becoming more divine, becoming more godly, becoming more like your goddess, isn't it?
And really quickly, just to quickly add in for everyone, 222 months, exactly 222, exactly 222 months after September 11, 2001 was March 11th, 2020. And that's the day that they said COVID was a global pandemic. 222 months to the day. 222 is the mother, 11 is the father, and we are the child. And so that's making us orphans, taking the father away on September 11th, taking the mother away on March 11, 2020 with the COVID, and then we're orphans. And we know what she does, Hillary and her band of black witches with their black spells. They go into entire villages and take orphans away. And this is what they do.
I really believe when that comes out, that will be the one thing that really will unite us all together, But this Great Awakening is an individual awakening and a collective awakening on all levels, isn't it? On all levels, on every single level. And it's an individual. So we have to do the work. We have to do the work. I know that we've got the alliance, we've got the spiritual alliance, and we've got the earth alliance, and we've got all of the teams out there who are taking down all these evil people out in that world, and they've done a lot. But it's also, we have to do the work within ourselves, which is taking our thought away from that negative, evil ego and bringing it to the divine love and God, goddess, and purifying ourselves in mind, body, and soul. That's the work that we all have to individually do to be able to get to that place, isn't it?
It is. And remember, everyone, it starts with your food. The food is not the be all and end all, but it is the starting point. Nothing changes until your diet changes. You are a frugivore, and you just have to, I've done so much work on this. And a frugivore is a consumer of raw fruit, some vegetables, some seeds, some nuts, but it's non-cooked, non-processed. And so think about this. Why is all of our food found in what they call these supermarkets? Because it's designed to take you away from the mother. Food is of the land, is of the mother, which you can grow yourself. But they make you go to an indoor temple. So it's the same thing as church. What are churches? Churches are supermarkets for the soul. Yeah. They take you away from the mother. They take you away from the land, the outer temple, to go inside to seek for God within you. And they take you into these death markets. And that's what a supermarket is.
It is.
Market. Processed foods are made with artificial sugars, which will kill you. Natural sugar of fruit is precisely what you need. Don't let anyone tell you any differently. All your cells require is what's called fructose, glucose, or sucrose. So in its purest form, it's glucose, but that is just a raw natural sugar from a fruit or a vegetable, and that's it. Your cells don't need anything else. Yeah, but Charlie, what about vitamin B12 or vitamin B6 or vitamin B3 or whatever? No, they're lying to you. You don't need anything except this natural sugar from the trees. That's what Genesis 1:29 says in the Bible, right at the beginning.
At the beginning
1:29.
Yes.
Let the plants and the trees and their seeds be thy food now and in the future. That is your food. We are frugivores.
We are, and it's
we
the
are
life
frugivores.
force. It's the life force energy. I call it the prana. I call it divine love light energy of God. That's in every single food. It's in every single cell. But it's live. It's the life force. We are living men and women. We have to eat that life force energy. So eating an animal or eating all of that dead stuff that's in the supermarket, you're not getting any of that life force energy within you. So you're not going to live very long. That's it. Yeah. Charlie, this is the work. This is the work. Purifying our mind, our body, and our soul, and getting ourselves ready to raise the Kundalini and raise that chrism oil.
UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good.
I want to ask you, Charlie, just give us a little bit of what do you see for this future? How is this new earth? Just tell us a few beautiful things, because it's going to be amazing. Once we've gone through this birth that we are in, how is it going to be? Give us a little bit.
It's going to be great. What needs to happen and will happen at the beginning will be the protocols of Nasara, or what some people call Jasara, for the entire world. It has to, because it will offset the pain body of learning the truth of what they've been up to beneath the ground. And they are vampires. That's why there's vampire movies everywhere. They are vampires. That's why silver has been suppressed, and the price of silver has artificially been kept so low. And that's why you can't get your hands on silver or gold. Only paper silver and paper gold, is because they know the truth, and they fear silver and gold. Silver is the mother, gold is the father. So they stay away from these things. They hoard them away from us, but they stay away from them themselves. They are these demons. And so what will happen is that in the reveal of the truth, to offset it, will come the principles of Nasara and Jasara. Now, Nasara is just essentially, more than anything else, is taking away all the artificial systems that currently exist, illegally cannot exist, that keep us poor. So it's all been a fake system. So any loan that you've ever signed, tear it up. It doesn't matter. Yeah. You don't owe anyone anything. In the meantime, pay interest only on anything until such time. And I guarantee you, every single one of your debts, every one will be torn, because they can't exist.
Yeah.
They're not legal. And believe me, they know this. So that's the protocol. So even if nothing really changes in terms of the amount of money you have access to, everything is going to be massively affordable, because, and another thing that President Trump has made very clear is that they've removed this hidden middleman, which is the cabal.
Jasara is going to come in, and it's going to give every single human being the birthright to a decent, beautiful existence upon this earth. There won't be any third world countries anymore. You know what I mean? Everyone will have the basic necessities instead of living as a savage, on a rubbish tip. It's just, so this is what this humanitarian massive project, and they've taken the money from the cabal, and that is what they're going to give out to all the people. Yeah.
And dispersed evenly, we'll all be co-shareholders in the wealth that both God and Mother Earth have created for us. And then kind man, which is what we are, we're mankind, which is the kind man, shares. And that's what we'll do. We'll just share everything we we have, because an existence where one person doesn't have the same that I have is an abomination to me. And I won't rest until everyone has all of the basics that are required met. And then the thing moving forward is that you will determine your reality. If you want to work for somebody else, I would imagine those opportunities will present themselves. But if you want to get busy with doing the work and coming to know the mother, and then coming to know the father, and thus knowing yourself, then that's everything. And then is the journey for eternal life. Because let me leave everyone with this gnosis, and this so pure common sense. We exist through free will. God loves us so much that we possess the ability to deny his existence, to deny his love, and even to cast hate and anger towards God, our creator. That's how much he loves us. And the ability within each and every one of us to be able to take our own free will and to look at all the evil that has gone on and to say, you know what? I choose God. I choose righteousness. I choose goodliness. I don't want to be a great man. I just want to be a good man. And I want to be a good man in every single moment. I want to be kind to everyone in every single moment. And when people choose that, this is this choosing the other world. And we have lived in a world of electricity. Electricity, as Nikola Tesla described, is a downward causation, and it is temporal. Electricity is made up of what are called temporal waves. They're temporary, so you live and you die. That's what everyone thinks. You live and you die, because that's what you see all around you. But there is another energy that has been suppressed from us, and it is 1,000,000 times more powerful than electricity. It's called magnetism, and they don't teach it. You can't get a degree in it, and yet it is everything. Magnetism is everything, and they've hidden it from us. And magnetism exists with the eternal 8, which is a scalar wave. Magnetism, our scalar wave, has no beginning and no end, and it eternally completes the torus field, which is the double sine wave. Just think, it's an S and a return S, which is what the sun does in 1 year. It's what the moon does in 28 days. They complete the eternal 8, and that's what they are. They are eternal, and we are eternal. So doing that work takes you beyond just getting healthy and having abundance in your life. The big secret is that you can live forever in these physical forms. All you have to do is, and this is what the Bible teaches you in Jesus Christ, is resurrection, which is rejuvenation, R-E. The Bible is about the New Testament is about R-E words, which is to redo. It's all a do-over, and this time we're going to do it right. The Old Testament is a D-E book, D-E, which is death, D-E, to take away. The Old Testament shows how they take away, and Jesus shows how you take back your power and how you live. So your cells do not have to just suddenly stop reproducing themselves. You just have to do the work and get healthy of body and of mind, and then you rejuvenate, resurrection. And this is what you do to your cells in every moment, and you transmutate yourself from an electrical being that lives for 70 years and dies in horrible pain and agony to an eternal being at the right-hand side of God, and that is the scalar wave, which is magnetism, which is eternity, and you will become the eternal man. It's that simple. It's what all the ancient cultures taught. It's what the Bible teaches. It's the metaphor of the inner Christ within you. You do this process, and you will transmutate out of an electrical world, which is your left brain, the dime brain, the 10%, that's the 10% you have to give to God. It's not 10% of your money, it's the 10% brain. It's your left brain, where all your thinking takes place. Get out of that brain. Get out of there today. That's where the ego exists, is in your left brain. You cross the river, horizontal divide, into heaven upon earth, which is the right hemisphere of your brain. And that's where the mother is. That's where God is. That's where Jesus Christ is. That's where Santa Claus. Santa Claus is very real at the North Pole, and he's the sainted Claustrum. And the Claustrum is your endocrine system, and there's sacred secretions, and it's pure magic. Cast thy net to the right. Cast thy net to the right. Cast thy net to the right. Go right by being right. Be
Righteous.
virtuous, be kind, be righteous in all single moments, and then you will surely know life. And what does Jesus say again and again in the New Testament? God is the God of the living, not the dead. What are you doing going to a death market, eating dead foods to try and have health and life? God is the God of the living. He created the mother who gives us plants, who gives us trees, who gives us fruits and vegetables. They are living foods. You want to live and be healthy, you eat life.
Yes.
You want to experience death out of your left brain, then continue to eat death. But the karmic payback for you participating in the forced breeding and then capture of all of these animals and then torture, mutilation of all of these animals, that karmic energy will never allow your chrism oil to rise. Never. If you are eating meat, dairy, and eggs, you will never raise your chrism oil. Never, ever. You have to be alkaline, and that is a frugivore.
Wow. That is absolutely beautiful. It really, really is. And I just want to say, Charlie, thank you so much for being on the Great Awakening Show.
Thank you very much, Joanne. Such a pleasure. You're such a great host.
Oh,
I appreciate
honestly,
this very much.
thank you.